Good evening, I'm Colm Colgan and you're watching the Business and Enterprise Show, Ireland's only live web-based business TV programme with over 2 million views in over 200 countries. And as always, we're coming to you live from our state-of-the-art studios in the Cabin Crystal Hotel. Now, one of the biggest aspects of business these days, technology. But what do you get? Who do you go to? No matter who you go to, they'll tell you their product is best. My guest tonight is a technology expert, but he doesn't sell technology. He recommends, he reviews, and he looks at. Jim O'Brien of TechBuzzIreland.com, you're very welcome.
Good evening, Colm.
Now, before we start talking about Tech Buzz Ireland, tell us a little about Jim O'Brien.
Bit about Jim O'Brien. Well, I'm self-employed. I run a business, a small transport business, and I'm a blogger. I do tech reviews, I test apps, I'm involved in a couple of projects at home back in Dublin on a few upcoming apps and some technologies that will be coming out soon to the Irish market.
Technology, you either love it or you hate it, but everybody has to use it.
Well, this is true. Like the way we're going now in this year and age is technology is starting to overtake us beyond. People don't see it. They're too busy with their everyday activities. They don't kind of understand what's going on around them. And it's slowly catching up with people, you know, and they can see that as regarding with their phones, how they've changed over the last 20 years, your internet, your tablets, how they've all changed in form, size, and
don't
how
you
fast
think
they
about
are.
size of phones? I remember my first one, you know, the big bricks, and then they got absolutely, I have one at home and it's a flip phone, and it kind of, it's this size nearly. But now, with the different uses, the phone, they make a bigger screen, the phones are getting bigger again.
It is, it's turned the full circle. And the problem back then was battery technology. Now, as a phone collector myself, I have phones going back from when I started liking phones, and they were huge. And then colour screens came along and the phones started to get small again, and people complained the phones were too big. And now we're back in the stage now again where the phones are just big, and they are killing tablets, so to speak, because of the capabilities of the devices themselves. So,
has battery technology kept up though?
Battery technology,
my phone, I use it, you know, emails, this, that, and that would be it. But I look at my daughter, you know, within a couple of hours, she's running around looking for a plug. And I remember last year we were at an event, and there was maybe 5 or 6 younger people there. Mind you, my age, a lot of them are younger. But the first thing they were looking for was somewhere to plug in their charger, because you know, the phone does so much now, battery technology doesn't appear to have kept up with it, and it all has to be recharged a couple of times a day.
Exactly, and this is something I recently spoke about too, is battery technology. And I was asked a question, will I ever meet in the middle, or will we ever not need chargers in years to come, or portable devices, you know, power banks, like they come in all kinds of sizes. But I think, no, we will always need them, because they are alone a selling point for manufacturers, you know, because they go along with the products. Say our new Samsungs that are out now today, and other devices have chargers that come with them. Like 2 or 3 years ago, manufacturers used to give them away to try and kick off portable charging or wireless charging. But really speaking, down the road, I can't see there not being no portable power banks for sale, because it's a revenue stream for manufacturers. And again, the devices the specs are going up all the time, you know, faster chips, you know, brighter screens, 4K screens now is the next big thing, not only on mobile but in TV too. So, you know, all these things do have an effect on battery. So again, the batteries really need to do is like start coming up with power. Like your average today would be around 3,000 milliamps. There is some new ones that are out that are 4,000 milliamps, you know, but we need them to be up around 3.5 or 4,000.
Is the length of battery life kind of the equivalent of miles per gallon on a car? I'm buying I can't remember the last time I've ever bought a brand new car, but you know yourself, you look at them, 53 miles, oh, that's not bad, 53 miles, you buy it and you end up, God, that's only about 40. And you bring it back to the garage. Well, under perfect conditions, it's 53. The battery life, Claire, is it something similar to that? You buy, we have a 12-hour battery, you know, and then 8 hours, it's gone, you know.
You could say so. Imagine driving your car down the road at 50 miles an hour, staying at that speed, hovering, cruise control example, staying at one speed, your car is just going to keep going at the same speed, you won't be forcing the engine to do anything. But if you start pedaling the car down the road, put your foot to the floor in small bursts or long bursts, the batteries or the diesel or petrol, whatever you might be using, will significantly go down. It's the same as the phone. Depending what you're using on the phone, say like streaming using maps or Bluetooth are big battery drains on devices. So it is kind of similar to that effect.
Yeah. And I suppose one of the things I always find with phones is I rarely see somebody using a phone as a phone now. People are looking either as in using it as a mini computer, maybe texting. But 9 times out of 10, if you see somebody with a phone, it's not up against their ear. No,
but that's true. If you go onto a bus or public transport, you look down the bus, go up the stairs and look down again, what are people doing? They're on their phone.
Yeah.
They're either on social media, on Netflix, Spotify, all these big applications now that are available for users. You know, they're in their phone all the time.
Yeah.
It's become like it's toward down really. You just have to have it.
Where did your interest in technology come from? Like I have an interest in various, but I don't have the interest or the knowledge that you have in technology. So it really must have been kind of something that bit you.
I did. I was interested in technology from a very young age. My father, still today, slags me over it, is I started off with watches, believe it or not. And come 5 or 6, I was able to dismantle a watch and put it back together again. And a lot of people used to come to me with broken watches and I'd fix them. And then it slowly moved up from there. I got interested in TVs, hi-fis, stereos.
Yeah.
I just always had an eye for it, and I was always looking at new things that come out in shops. You know, back then there was no internet for us to look at.
Yeah.
So your physical in-store thing was the thing back then.
In the Pete's in Parnell Street and see what they have.
Exactly. So from there, I started reading up on other people's blogs and websites. And then I joined forums for support because I was into the mobiles then. And then when I got my first mobile, I just, from there, just really sunk in that this is it. Like, you know, when you get your first mobile phone, you might remember yourselves, they were big. Yeah. The big Motorola, one of those was my first phones.
I had it as a company phone. Guess where I'm ringing you from?
Yeah, and it was big, and you had a big battery, you know. Then from there, they started to get small. So then I started getting into the forums and looking for answers on problems that I was having with devices. So I got involved with a couple of forums, some I am still with today, and I start helping people then because I started picking up the knowledge of the phones. So after that then I started getting into the blogging. So I start looking around, seeing what I had to do, what I had to learn. You know, you had to learn all these codes and stuff for your WordPress sites, all these. I was looking at which site would suit me best, which is most responsive and, you know, you could get the most from. Because, you know, you have to put money into some of these things to start out. So I set up my first blog and then it went from there. And the first blog was NokiaNewsIreland.com, which done me very well because I was writing stuff about Nokia. I was dealing with the Nokia forums for 10 years, still am today. And I said to myself, it's time to change. There's no point in sticking to one subject. And due to the deal with Microsoft, I knew that there was only so much life left in that.
Now, was there any connection between you and Nokia?
There was. I was on the pilot program with them, which for me was I was getting units sent out to me to test before public release. You know, sometimes they came a little bit late.
But by the same token, if Nokia were somehow involved with you, did that kind of stop you from saying, well, this particular phone, the flaws are 1, 2, 3?
No, because all you have to give an honest opinion. One thing if you're a blogger, you know, is don't be one-sided, don't be biased. It's not good. You know, again, everyone has their own opinion and they might look and say that was a biased review or so, you know, you just have to give your own honest thoughts. You know, so from having the previous blog, I went on to change the whole thing over and moved up to Tech Buzz Ireland. And what happened then was through the connections that I had previously, my work was going out through all these channels and other people start picking up the work. You know, so then I got in contact with more people. And then I started getting invited to events. So I, again, made new contacts and that. And then through work as well, I was also in the same scene as regarding contacts for technology. So it kind of suited me well. So then I went on to radio then, which I do once a week for Charity Radio Ireland. And it's it's a charity run, free. It's all free.
Yeah.
You know, and we do a tech show there every Wednesday night. So
am I taking you away from your radio listeners?
Oh no, not at all. So
technology can be pre-recorded.
It kind of did. So we do that once a week, and again, they gave me a chance.
Just to go back to the radio program, what for? Do people ring you up with queries? Is it a bit like
it's an internet-based program. So we have a text system, we have social media, people contact us on that, email, etc.
Yeah.
So they gave me a chance to do that. So it was nice of them to get me on board there. So people start getting interested in that. So what I do as well then is I look for bloggers, and we look for people to come in on the show with me on a Wednesday. So it's giving everybody a chance, you know, to sell yourself, like to talk about what you know about, you know, and that's how it's all done. It's like a free share kind of thing, you know.
Go back to your blog. How do you get people to view your blog? What's you know, it is a great blog. I've looked at it, but it's one of 100 blogs probably from Ireland on technology, and probably one of 1 million blogs on the internet on technology. So how do you get people to come in and say, whoa, Jim knows what he's talking about, I want to watch him?
This is where it begins for everyone. It's hard to start off. You can't just set up a blog and become known overnight. Yeah. It takes time. Takes probably 2 years.
What did you have to do to get people?
I had to work hard. You know, where I was an advantage starting off was I had products. So when I had my products reviewed, it went out through the suppliers' channels. So the suppliers' channels would have huge social media. Yeah. So my work started going out through them. And then what happens then is other people start picking up on it. Yeah. You know.
So again, just so I understand myself, you mentioned Nokia. So you're reviewing a Nokia phone. Nokia will then look at the review our phone got by techbuzzireland.com, and people go, who's this tech? And check you out and then follow you from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how it works. And you grow followers that way. It is hard. You know, as I said, if anyone does want to start blogging, you know, it is going to be, you're going to be kicked down before you get up, you know, starting off. And it is.
Is it a bitchy world, the world of bloggers?
It is a very bitchy world. I'll definitely say that to you. You know, you're always going to have competition. You're always going to have people saying this and saying that. Yeah. And you have to just learn how to deal with that yourself. You know, there is ways of doing it. You know, and it's just up to you whether you can hack it or not. Because a lot of people, for example, join social media, like celebrities have done it. They've left because someone said something bad to them, and they're gone. Yeah. You know, if you can't hack it, just don't do it. That's what I'll always say. Yeah. Definitely, I'll always say that. But you know, all bloggers do get hassled, slagged, trolls, comments on your site, your YouTube channel, the whole lot. And you can either A, answer them back, B, block them, or C, just ignore them. Yeah. I always say ignorance is bliss.
And you say you can start answering them back, but that can apart from the fact to just drain you, that can be all that you're about for the next kind of 2, 3, 4, just answering that particular query, you know, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Now, we kind of touched on phones. It's a technology blog that you have. What other technology do you cover?
We do everything. Mainly what I do is kind of the latest phones, the latest tablets, the latest inventions, technology news, and I like to focus on particular stuff from Ireland, obviously from being Irish. Yeah. So
Ireland is an innovation hub for technology.
Ireland is a very big innovation hub for technology now, and there's lots of companies from overseas looking to come over, as well as people have exported, or a lot of companies have left.
Are we talking the fact that Intel are here, or are we talking Irish originated companies, small little companies?
There's a good few Irish originated companies, and then you have Intel. You know, over the last couple of years, a lot of tech companies have left due to the recession. You know, but there's a lot of people, countries from European countries, looking to come back into Ireland now as a tech hub. You know, to have their operations. Like if say you have eBay and the likes of them in Dublin, you know, on Twitter now have a place in Dublin, and you know, this is just the way it is now, and it's a lot of markets are focused on the Irish market now as a hub. Yeah. You know, so Ireland is very, very focused.
Now, if there's a new product comes out, do you go looking for it to review, or is it now at the stage if you've developed a product, or if you're launching a product, you want Jim O'Brien to review it on his blog.
This is
So
another hard
people come
part.
to
You know, some customers now that I have regular customers that'll send me stuff. But with new customers, you have to fight for them.
Yeah.
You know, they'll obviously do their own homework on you before they'll just say, yeah, I will just send him that.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to go and chase them, or drop them a nice mail, or drop them something on social media. You know, you can't just go up and knock on the door and say, hey, give us one of those. You know, they're going to look at you before you even get considered. You know, there, as you said there's a lot of blogs in Ireland, and some of them blogs are paid blogs, some of them are not. Some of them are fully funded blogs. I'm non-funded. I fund my blog myself.
Yeah.
So when you have big blogs like that, and the big media, like the big tech guys in Ireland, from the papers, for example, they will always get preference over like small bloggers, you know. But not all of them, but most of them. Like, do
you ever be put under pressure to give a product a good review?
Yeah, and we won't do it. You know, I've seen it happening even not so long ago, where you'd get a product sent to you and they'd send you an email, oh, you wouldn't mind saying this is better than that. No, you're scrapped straight away. You shouldn't really associate with the likes of those kind of people, you know, because people will see. And when I do get a product, or before I'll ask for a product, if it's been out for a couple of weeks, you know, because the way technology is, Ireland is still kind of a little bit behind the UK and further afield, you know.
Are we still behind America?
We are in some instances,
I remember kind of when we had kind of nice flashy little phones, if you watch something, even if, you know, you can watch some old movies, but if you'd see kind of up-to-date films, and their phones in the States, they seem to be kind of the phones we got rid of maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. You know, again, you can say the same for here. And the problem is, it's not that we're behind so much, it's the product availability. For example, I'll give you a pure example, Google. The Google Moto 360 here, the Nexus 6 phones, the tablets, they were all out in the UK before they come here, and they don't come out here for months on end. It's small little things like that that kind of annoy people. Gets my gut, to be honest with you, because they're making the technology available in the UK and they're not making it available here. And then the other problem then is shipping it to Ireland. Yeah. Some companies won't ship to Ireland, but they'll ship to America from the UK.
And they ship to Northern Ireland.
Yeah, exactly. And this is another thing as well. But as we said, people are more tech savvy now, and they will shop. They'll shop abroad, you know, and get the latest technology in via the internet, you know, and people are doing that more so now than ever.
Is that going to affect the likes of, we'll say I was going to say the O2 shops, but they're a thing of the past now, the Tree shops and the Vodafone shops and the media shop? Will that affect them to, if you wanted a mobile phone, they were the places you went, or Carphone Warehouse, but you went to a retailer. Now people have the ability, and I suppose the confidence too, because you're buying off reputable sites, you're paying via PayPal, something like that. It's not like you're sending a check over to China and waiting for it to come back. You're now buying off a reputable site, so people have access and nearly bypassing the stores here in Ireland.
Exactly, and they're taking chips off the big boys of the block that have been around for years, like Apple and Samsung and HTC. All these new, what they call as new OEMs, new manufacturers of devices. Like, for example, last year the biggest device that was a very, very good success was the OnePlus One. You couldn't buy it anywhere, only from them. And through word of mouth, that company spread to become one of the best-selling phones of last year. Now, the difference in the price here is half the price of what you pay for a Samsung S6 or a HTC One or an iPhone. These phones are coming in at half the price because they've kept their costs down, their overheads down. And there's a lot of these companies now setting up, there's a good 10 or 15 new manufacturers now, OEMs, and these are all slowly taking chips off the big boys that have been around for years, and they're not liking it. But if they're offering a good product for half the price, what's to stop you from buying it?
And of course, if you're buying something, say from the Far East, with FedEx or UPS, you can have it in 2 or 3 days.
Exactly, and this is it. And so, with some cases, you can buy them next day. Like, for example, there's one mobile phone company in the UK that have new Windows phones. You can't buy them here, but you can order online and have it in your house the next day. You know, it's that easy now. But again, the ones with China, like you have Huawei, Lenovo, these are all the new big guys now. They've overtook the likes who was on top before, like Nokia and Apple, and these are all up now in the top 10 manufacturers in the world.
Yeah.
And they're chipping at every single one of the big boys now, and they're slowly all dropping off the top 10. It's amazing how good and how quick these companies are growing.
Yeah.
You know, people are more buyer beware now. They'll do their research first, then they'll go to forums like boards.ie, for example, is a very popular site for information. People looking to buy this, looking to buy that, or having to say something about this, or X, Y, and Z. And they go there, and then what will happen there, there's a thread on a particular product, on one product. So people go in and see mixed reviews and mixed views on what people have that have the device already, or whichever it is, and they can take their own decision based on what they read, you know. But again, it's personal preference versus what you like can also be different, you know.
Yeah, and you threw out some names there, and I'm just thinking of some of the computer companies now. When I worked in the place donkeys years ago, they shipped an awful lot of computer parts and all the computer names. They're all gone now. They used to ship for Wang. I don't think Wang even exists anymore. Certainly don't make Digital, that place in Galway.
Yeah.
They made, I can't remember, I think they might have only made the chips, but I know they're gone. And like that was probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were the big names, and now they're gone. And it's kind of exactly the same with the phones. The Huawei from China. Now, I suppose we all know them from the little dongles for the broadband, but now they're making phones, and you can say for China, well, I've had a dongle, you know, in the side of the computer for I don't know how many years, and like the quality is perfect. You know,
all dongles in Ireland would be from Huawei. Yeah. You know, it's amazing how a company can change over time. Yeah. You know, they're becoming more versatile now. They're diversifying themselves to suit the market, and this is what's happened now. And it's seen with all the quarterly results that have been out over the last couple of weeks there, that the big boys are going down and the new guys are coming up, and they're just taking chips out of them here and there and everywhere. And it's going to keep continuing.
And you know, the iPhone, like everybody wants the iPhone, but like they continue putting phones out at, you know, 6, 7, 800 quid, you know. And okay, there is that kind of, oh, I have to have an iPhone, but soon something will take over from that, and then you'll realize, well, actually, I can get that for 200, I get an iPhone for 800, and there's very little different.
Well, personally, I would love to see a manufacturer topple Apple. You know, they've had the monopoly for so long, and the thing is, if you've ever watched an Apple event or a Samsung event, like a launch, Apple can sell themselves very well. Yeah. Apple have a good fan base. You know, example being the iWatch or the watch, the Apple Watch, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. The price of them, madness. You know, you can buy something like that for half the price. You can buy watches again cheaper, like smartwatches, trackable.
Smartwatch. I've heard the expression smartwatch. What is a smartwatch? What?
To simplify a smartwatch, it's notifications on your wrist. What it does, you sync it to your phone with Bluetooth, and also they have monitors on the back of them which can monitor your pulse and all this kind of stuff. Your jogging, your running, your sleep patterns, and all this information relays back to your phone.
So your phone's in your pocket.
Yeah.
And somebody rings, and you look at your watch, and you see it coming up. Now, do you say, I say, Mary's ringing me, and you take the phone out? Or do you go, yeah, Mary, how are you?
Some of the watches do have voice on them. Like, for example here, I can control my phone from this watch here. I can press speak now and talk to it, and it'll do what I tell it to do from my phone. Yeah. But they're not at the stage yet where you can talk to them. Only the new watch there, one of the LG watches, is that function now that just came out there a couple of weeks ago. I was only reading about it. But this is the stage that we're at now, and basically what they're trying to do is it's trying to keep you away from your phone. But toggling between the two, you look at your watch for an email or something. Someone said something.
I assume, again, particularly social media, you know, if you want to check Facebook, you might, surely on the screen would say, Mary Murphy has updated her Facebook page. Now, if you want to see what she's done, have you then to go to your phone? Because surely there wouldn't be enough space.
This will depend on the watch. You might get one line of a text message, one line of a notification on the watch, or you can open it.
Yeah.
It depends on the watch. Again, this is what you pay for.
You might get just one line in the email. Pregnancy test came back. The result is, and it doesn't give the result.
You know, so it's still not all the way there yet, but that's exactly.
But is that where it's going?
Yeah.
Like you'll kind of, again, you're far too young. But Maxwell Smart, when he had the phone in his stew, or even Star Trek, when they had their communicators.
Yeah.
You know, very very like air phones. But is that where it's going? Like, are we all going to end up with kind of the business end here, and I don't know, maybe something in our coat or something in our car?
That's the way I think the world wants to go, you know, but ideally it's not an ideal solution. Like, you can't do everything that you can physically do on a mobile phone or a tablet today. Yeah. You know, it's just not big enough. Yeah. It's not fit for purpose. But
now, you were telling me earlier you were over in Malta.
Yeah.
One of the things you were looking at was the Internet of Things. Yeah. Now, what is the Internet of Things?
The Internet of Things is everything can talk to each other. Like your cameras there. They're all talking to each other, more or less. Yeah. But this is a home with your fridge, your cooker. We have this thing called Nest now at home, where you can hook things up to the Nest and you can set temperatures and all this kind of stuff. But what's happening is that your fridge can talk to your watch or your phone. You can send a text or an email.
The cameras talk to the control unit back there.
Yeah.
But why would a fridge? What's the point of a fridge talking to?
A small way of starting off, we could say, we've Wi-Fi kettles now. So you have an app on your device or your phone, sorry, and you can tell your kettle to boil sitting there while it's just 2 foot across the way. From there, it's expanding on further away. You can set remote alerts from.
And I'm saying to you, so what's the fucking point?
It's laziness.
But had we been having this discussion 20 years ago, sorry, they've invented what? A remote control for television.
Yeah.
Why didn't you get up and just change the buttons? You know, and now, let's be honest, if you can't find a remote control, you watch whatever's on. You know, you're not going to get up and change. Of course, often, without a remote control, the television can change anyway, you know.
And even now, the manufacturers of mobile phones are building remotes into your phones. So you have an infrared port on top of your device, and you can download an app for the device or get the channels to set for a particular manufacturer. And you know, people don't use them. They're gimmicks. You know, realistically speaking, they're gimmicks. And they're right there. If I can't find a remote control at home, I'm just like, that can stay on. Yeah. You know. So, while I was out, when we were over in Malta, we seen this new technology called VUX, which is virtual reality experience, and it was a cooker, just like your normal cooker there, but there was no buttons and no hobs or nothing on it at all. So what we had up on top was a little small light, which then shines down, and then you had the 4 hobs come up, and then you can drag across the bottom of on the cooker itself, and buttons will pop up and pop down, and you can press this to turn this
hob on. Like a screen.
Yeah, but they're all separate. Like, you know, it's not like just one big picture. Yeah. It's all grids, circles, like what you'd see in reality. Yeah. And then you could even see what your child is doing in the sitting room, because if you had a camera in your sitting room, it could hook up to this. Yeah. And you drag everything around like so and like this, and it's like, if you remember the Minority Report years ago when Mr. Cruz was doing like this on a glass screen, pulling one thing over here and there. It was just like that. It's quite amazing stuff, but it's not. This was prototype stage now. This was what we've seen over there.
So the future is technology. Time is beating us. I could have talked to you for another hour. You're so good at it, as you can probably gather. I'm not very technological, but you made it so simple and so interesting. Jim, you might tell us your blog and your website. How can people have a look at it?
You can contact us at techbuzzireland.com or at Jimbo Ireland on Twitter if you want to talk to us, or if you want to blog or come on radio too. There's opportunities there for everyone. We like to give everyone a chance.
Jim O'Brien, Tech Buzz Ireland, thank you so much. I've been Colm Colgan. You've been watching the Business Enterprise Show. Good night.
That was quick.
Colm Crystal Hotel provides 4-star accommodation on the edge of Cavan Town. Located conveniently on the Dublin Road, just 60 minutes away from Dublin. With 85 beautifully appointed bedrooms and a number of luxurious suites. We offer wedding packages. With our one wedding a day policy, we guarantee to make yours a special day. Enjoy a meal at our award-winning Opus One restaurant, or have a drink in the atrium or residence bars. Feeling energetic? You can work out in Zest Health and Fitness Club, or maybe pamper yourself and visit Utopia Health and Beauty Clinic, or Avita's Hair Salon, both located on site. Situated only 5 minutes from Cavan Town Centre and local amenities. Colm Crystal Hotel, gateway to Ireland's Lakelands.